Alright, buckle up because we're diving into the origin story of the OG gun nerd, John Moses Browning. He wasn't just a brilliant designer, he was the gold standard. From rifles to shotguns to machine guns, Browning didn't follow trends, he set them. His guns weren't gimmicks or showpieces, they were practical, durable, and way ahead of their time. This isn't a story about flashy fame or cushy accolades. It's about a man with machine oil in his veins and a mission to rewire the firearm industry, one design at a time. And for those who don't know, welcome to Chronos History, where we break down the greatest moments in history and turn them into greater stories. Whether you're bored, learning, or somewhere in between, we've got something cooked up for you to keep you entertained. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. John Moses Browning was born in 1855 in Ogden, Utah, into a Mormon family of blacksmiths, gunsmiths, and hardcore DIY types. His dad, Jonathan Browning, was a devout follower of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a top-tier gunsmith who had relocated the family to Utah to build a life and a business away from federal meddling. John basically grew up inside a live-action engineering tutorial. While most kids were chasing frogs or carving sticks, he was hanging out in his dad's workshop surrounded by machinery and metal. By 13, he built a functioning rifle. By 24, he had his first patent. The man was wired for precision, and he learned early how to translate raw materials into functional, efficient tools. His childhood was a forge, literally and figuratively, and it lit the spark that would change firearm history forever.
Get your popcorn ready.
Browning wasn't just experimenting, he was solving real problems. At 15, he built a single-shot rifle with clean lines and rock-solid performance. By 1879, he filed his first official patent, a falling block rifle that combined simplicity with battlefield-grade reliability. That caught the attention of Winchester, the reigning king of firearms manufacturing. In 1883, they sent representatives all the way to Utah to strike a deal. Now, what followed was one of the most productive collaborations in firearms history. Browning rolled out a string of legendary rifles for Winchester. Models 1885, 1886, 1892, 1894, and finally 1895. Each one refined the mechanics of lever-action design. Stronger receivers, smoother cycling, higher power. These weren't one-off experiments. They were weapons that would dominate for decades. Browning wasn't just building guns, he was defining how they would work for the next 100 years. Before Browning ever touched shotguns, they were clunky, unsafe, and mostly impractical. Then came the Winchester Model 1893, a pump-action shotgun with a tubular magazine and a slick reloading system. It was a big leap forward, but the real game-changer came in 1897. The Winchester Model 1897 was a beefed-up version built for smokeless powder. It was fast, rugged, and became iconic in World War I trench warfare. Soldiers loved it. It could slam out shells in close quarters and even came with a bayonet mount, turning a shotgun into a brutal multi-role weapon. It wasn't elegant, but it worked really well. And Browning didn't stop. In 1898, he dropped the Auto 5, the first mass-produced semi-automatic shotgun. This thing used a long recoil system that ejected spent shells and loaded the next round automatically. No pumping required, just pull the trigger and keep moving. The Auto 5 stayed in production from 1902 to 1999 under Browning, Remington, and FN. That kind of longevity doesn't just happen by accident. It was fast, reliable, and versatile, working just as well in duck blinds as it did in patrol cars. At the same time, Browning was finishing his last lever-action design for Winchester, the Model 1895. This rifle swapped the old tubular magazine for a modern box magazine, which was crucial for handling Spitzer-style bullets, which were becoming the standard for military use. Tubular mags and pointed rounds don't really mix well unless you're into accidental explosions, and Browning definitely wasn't about that. The 1895 was designed to chamber powerful rounds like .3006, .303 British, and 762 by 54. In 1915, Russia ordered nearly 300,000 of them to make up for Mosin Nagant shortages. These rifles saw frontline action in World War I, the Russian Civil War, and even popped back up in World War II. That's how durable and forward-thinking the design really was. The 1895 marked a shift from the Old West lever-action era into a new age of industrial-scale warfare. Just like with the shotguns, Browning didn't just meet the moment. He built for what was coming next. His designs weren't reactive, they were predictive. And that's what set him apart. After years of delivering smash hits for Winchester, John Moses Browning decided he was done being underpaid for world-changing ideas.
There's no money in it!
Winchester had a habit of buying his patents outright, giving him a flat fee while they raked in massive profits. No royalties, no long-term cut. Browning had the name, the genius, and now the confidence to walk. So he took his talents overseas, teaming up with Belgium's FN, which stands for Fabrique Nationale. Unlike Winchester, FN treated him like the creative force he really was. They gave him respect, resources, and royalties. It was at FN that the legendary Auto 5 shotgun went into mass production, becoming the world's first widely produced semi-automatic shotgun and putting Browning on the global map. Back in the US, he also linked up with Colt. Their focus? Semi-automatic pistols and machine guns, the next generation of warfare tech. Browning's early work with Colt led to the sleek Model 1900, then the compact Model 1903, a favorite among law enforcement, military officers, and civilians. These pistols were reliable, easy to use, and light years ahead of what most people were carrying at the time. But nothing made waves like the famous Colt M1911. Designed for the powerful .45 ACP cartridge and adopted by the US Army in 1911, this sidearm became a battlefield icon. It stayed in official military service for over 70 years. That's not just longevity, that is absolute dominance.
Who is your daddy? Who your daddy, Gary?
The 1911 blended power, simplicity, and durability, and to this day, it's still in use and production around the world. Browning didn't just help invent the modern pistol, he reinvented the machine guns from the ground up as well. Before him, machine guns either relied on awkward cranks like the Gatling or recoil systems like the Maxim. Browning brought something new to the table: gas operation. His idea was elegantly simple: redirect some of the gas from a fired round into a piston, and let that pressure drive the action. You know, extracting the casing, cocking the firing mechanism, loading the next round, and closing the bolt. All automatic, minimal complexity, maximum reliability.
That goal was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer.
He first showed the concept to the US Army in the 1890s, and it was a jaw-dropper. His test machine gun ran smooth and steady without manual input, impressing even the most skeptical officers. This tech led to the Colt Browning M1895, air-cooled machine gun built for sustained fire. It was chambered in .3006 and known for chewing through belts of ammo without overheating. It became a staple of World War I's defensive positions. Browning's gas operation design didn't just create iconic guns. It became the core mechanic of automatic weapons globally. The AK, FN FAL, M16, all running with variations of Browning's idea. His system became the baseline for modern military small arms.
Flawless victory.
Even in his 70s, Browning was in the shop daily. He wasn't coasting. He was designing, testing, and refining right up to the end. With full control over his work and favorable contracts with both Colt and FN, he had the freedom and the energy to keep shaping the future. He wrapped up icons like the M1919 and pushed the .5 caliber M2 machine gun toward completion, while continuing to perfect pistols and shotguns. Then in 1926, he traveled to FN's factory in Liège, Belgium, to oversee his final project, the Browning High Power. The High Power was designed to be the next great service pistol. It chambered 9mm, held 13 rounds in a double-stag magazine, and combined all the best features of his earlier work. It was lightweight, powerful, and modern. On November 26, 1926, while working at his bench at FN, Browning suffered a fatal heart attack. He died surrounded by the tools and blueprints that had defined his life. He was buried in Ogden, Utah, but his legacy didn't stop there. The High Power was finished by Belgian engineer Dieudonné Say and officially entered service in 1935. It will go on to become one of the most widely adopted military sidearms of the 20th century, used by over 50 countries. John Moses Browning wasn't just a designer. He was the foundation of modern firearms. His systems, his thinking, and his craftsmanship defined the weapons of the 20th century and beyond. He died mid-design, but his influence never stopped. Today, his guns are still carried, fired, studied, and copied. Browning didn't just build weapons, he built the future and handed it to the world, one invention at a time. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment if you think you would make a better arms designer than John Moses Browning. And until next time, see you again on Chronos History.